everyone, welcome to Botany Insider, and in this lecture we will be focusing upon one of the most important topic from the plant physiology unit, and that is the mechanism of the stomatal opening and closing. But before starting off the topic, let us have a brief introduction about that what is stomata and where it is actually located. So on the screen you could see the diagram of a leaf, and if we look closely to this diagram, we could analyze that a leaf has various components. The topmost component is the cuticle, then we have the upper epidermis, then we have the palisade and the mesophyll cells, then we have the spongy mesophyll, and then we have the lower epidermis. And in the lower epidermis, we can see some opening in the leaf structure. So this opening is what is called as the stomata. And this opening is protected by the help of the guard cells, and this opening actually helps in the carbon dioxide entering the leaf and the oxygen exiting out of the leaf. And how the oxygen is produced? It is produced by the help of the photosynthesis mechanism. And what is photosynthesis? We have discussed about photosynthesis in complete detail on the channel. You can watch out the complete playlist on the channel itself. So let's talk about the stomata in particular. So in botany, a stoma, which is also called a stome, which is a type of a pore that is found in the epidermis of the leaf, the stems and the other organs that control the rate of the gas exchange in the leaves and the plant body in particular. The stomatas could be called as the tiny openings that are present on the epidermis of the leaf. And what is epidermis? So epidermis was the outermost layer of the leaf that we are focusing upon. In some of the plants, the stomatas are present on stems and the other parts of the plants as well, and the stomata plays an important role in the gaseous exchange and also in the photosynthesis. So let's move forward. So the pore is bordered by the help of a pair of specialized parenchymatous cells that are known as the guard cells that are responsible for regulating the size of the stomatal opening. That is, consider we have this stomata or we have this stomatal opening. So we have some guard cells protecting this opening in order to regulate its opening and closing depending upon the requirement of the cell. We would be understanding about this mechanism itself in this video. So this is how a typical stomata looks like. So we have the stomatal pore in the center, then we have the guard cells protecting the stomatal pore from both the sides, and beyond the guard cells we have the subsidiary cells. And these guard cells have the nucleus as a typical component of the cell that we study about, and also the guard cells also have some chloroplasts present in their cytoplasm. So what are the typical functions of the stomata? We could say the typical function of the stomata is first that it helps in the mechanism of photosynthesis, and second, it also helps in the mechanism of the gaseous exchange, and the gaseous exchange in particular the carbon dioxide and the oxygen that the plant use in various mechanisms. So let's discuss about the opening and the closing of the stomata now. So as you can see in the figure, on the left hand side we have the open stomata and on the right hand side we have the closed stomata. Let's understand about this. So let's talk about the opening mechanism in particular now. So first point to remember is that the opening mechanism or the stomata usually opens out during the daytime. So we would be understanding that this complete mechanism of opening is occurring during the daytime. So in the daytime we have the presence of light, the presence of carbon dioxide, chloroplast, water, and these are the four raw materials that is required for the photosynthesis to occur. And by the end result of the photosynthesis we get glucose produced as a byproduct. and this glucose could be starch and the sucrose. Depending upon that what is the requirement, or depending upon that the plant need this glucose to be either stored or transported, the glucose could be either starch or the sucrose. That is, if it need to be stored, it is in the form of starch, and if it need to be transported, it is in the form of the sucrose. So now we would understand this, that in the guard cells we have the starch, that is, in the guard cells we have the stored form of the glucose, and in the guard cells this starch gets converted into the malic acid by the presence or in the presence of light. And now, because the starch gets converted into the malic acid in the presence of light, it leads to a decrease in the starch concentration because of the conversion. As the complete concentration of the starch gets converted into malic acid, there occurs a reduction in the concentration of the starch, and also because it gets converted into malic acid, and as the malic acid have the nature of being a weak acid, it gets broken down into the malate ion plus the H plus ions, and H plus ions acts as the protons, as we have already studied. So now this H plus ions are used by the guard cells for the K plus ions. What do we mean by this? That means that when the malic acid gets converted into the malate ion and the H plus, so the guard cells, what they do is that they use these H plus, or they use these protons as in exchange of the K plus ions from the outside. There occurs a exchange of the H plus and the K plus in the guard cells, and after the exchange, so there would be the K plus ions getting increased in the guard cell. Also the H plus ion concentration decreases in the guard cells, and now because the H plus ion concentration decreases and the K plus ion concentration increases, there occurs a change in the pH of the guard cell. That is, the pH of the guard cell increases and becomes alkaline. And as we already know about the pH concept, that if the pH of a particular area or the pH of a particular environment increases, there occurs that particular environment becomes more of alkaline in nature. And along with the increase in the pH, there also occurs an increase in the K plus ions concentration increased in the guard cells. Now the malate ions, which were produced as the dissociation of the malic acid, which was produced as a result of the starch getting converted into the malate. So this malate ions, they are formed in the guard cells. They are neutralized by the K plus ions. Why they are neutralized? Because in order to balance the pH concentration, or in order to balance the electrochemical gradient across the guard cells inside and outside of that. So now as the K plus and the malate ions get combined together in order to neutralize, there occurs the formation of the potassium malate in the guard cells. And as we know that during the daytime there is less of carbon dioxide concentration in and around the guard cell, it also helps in the stomatal opening. Now we could say that the presence of the K plus, the presence of Cl minus, malate and the sucrose in the guard cells helps in the opening of the stomata during the daytime. So now, because we have all these ions and all of these components present inside the guard cells, so there occurs an increase in the osmotic potential, and because of increase in the osmotic potential, there occurs decrease in the water potential of the guard cells. And now, as we know that the water moves from the area of high concentration towards the area of low concentration, there occurs a endoosmosis of water. That is, there occurs the entry of water inside the guard cells. And as a result of the endoosmosis of water, there occurs a increased or there occurs a high turgor pressure inside the guard cells. So we could say that increase in the guard cells leads to the final mechanism to happen. That is, because of the increase in the turgor pressure of the guard cell, the stomata gets open. And why does it get open? Because of the high pressure that have been caused as a result of the endoosmosis of the water from the surrounding cell into the guard cells. As you could see that the water gets entered from the subsidiary cells inside the guard cells as a result of the mechanism that is happening, which is known as the endoosmosis. There occurs the opening of the stomata. So as you can see in the figure that this is the complete representation of the stomatal opening mechanism. So we have inside the guard cells the Cl minus, K plus, H2O and H plus occurring. So as a result of these many components inside the guard cell, there occurs a increase in the turgor pressure of this particular guard cell. And also because of the increased turgor pressure, along with the endoosmosis of water inside the guard cell, there occurs the swelling of this guard cells, and as a result there occurs a opening of the stomatal pore. One important point to remember is that the plant hormone cytokinin also helps in the opening of the stomata. Make sure you remember the name of this plant hormone and the details of this particular plant hormone, and all the other plant hormones have been discussed previously, so you can check out that playlist also. Last point to remember is that the lower concentration of the carbon dioxide also helps in the stomatal opening. Make sure you remember all the important factors that are responsible for the stomatal opening and along with the stomatal closing. So in stomatal opening, cytokinin plant hormone is helping, and also low concentration of carbon dioxide is also helping, and along with that the presence of the K plus, Cl minus, malate and the sucrose inside the guard cells is also helping in the opening of the stomata, or is also helping in the mechanism of the stomatal opening. So this is all about the stomatal opening that we need to keep in mind. Let's discuss about the closing mechanism of stomata. It is completely opposite of the opening mechanism. That is, first, it occurs in the absence of light. Second, in the opening mechanism we had a high concentration of the malic acid. So in closing mechanism the requirement is the low concentration of the malic acid in the guard cells, and all the ions or all the components that entered into the stomata during the opening in the closing mechanism, all of those ions would be getting back to their original positions and finally would be leading closing of the stomata. That is, in opening we had the influx of the K plus ions. So in closing we have the efflux of the K plus ions and the influx of the H plus ion, in order to maintain the electrochemical gradient across the walls. And also the important point to remember is that in closing mechanism abscisic acid plays very important role in the stomatal closing. And how does it help? It blocks the uptake of the K plus ions by the guard cell. That is, abscisic acid blocks the entry of the K plus ions into the guard cell and hence prevent the opening, or in other words it promotes the closing of the stomata. And also along with the abscisic acid we have the calcium ion concentration getting increased in the guard cells, and now the abscisic acid along with the carbon dioxide helps to lower the pH of the guard cells, that makes the medium acidic, which is the complete opposite of what we have studied in the opening mechanism. That in the opening mechanism we had the medium becoming basic or alkaline in nature, but in the closing mechanism we have the medium converting into the acidic form, and this abscisic acid actually helps in the permeability and the diffusion processes occurring, or helps to change the permeability and the diffusion of the guard cells, which helps in the stomatal closing. So as you can see in the figure, we have the K+ ions leaving the guard cells, the water exiting out of the guard cell, and as a result of the exoosmosis of water and also decrease in the turgor pressure of the guard cells, there occurs a closing of the stomatal opening, or there occurs a closing of the stomatal pores as a complete result of the process that we have discussed. So this is all about the opening and the closing. Let's just summarize all the points that we have discussed by the help of this flowchart. So during the daytime, in the presence of the light, the carbon dioxide concentration decreases. The malic acid that is formed in the guard cells, it gets dissociated into the malate ions and the H+. The K+ are taken into the guard cells and the H+ are transported out of the guard cell. That is, there occurs ion exchange in and around the guard cells. There occurs an increase in the osmotic potential of the guard cells, and why it occurs? Due to the entry of the K+ and the malate ions, and hence there occurs endoosmosis of water into the guard cells. There occurs increase in the water concentration in the guard cell. The guard cell becomes rigid and finally the stomata opens. And on the other hand, we have the stomatal closing mechanism occurring during the night time or during the dark time. So we have the carbon dioxide concentration increasing due to the decreased pH of the guard cell. Abscisic acid is released in order to stop the ion exchange, or in order to stop the potassium ion exchange. The malate ions present in the guard cell cytoplasm combined with the H+ to form the malic acid. Then we have the K+ ions transported back into the subsidiary cells, resulting in the decreased osmotic potential of the guard cells. There occurs exoosmosis of water from the guard cell. The guard cell become flaccid and finally the stomata closing. So this was all about the stomatal opening and the closing mechanism in the form of the flowchart. So during the daytime, we have the accumulation of K+ ion by the guard cells. There occurs increased solute concentration. There occurs endoosmosis of water, which results in increased turgidity, and finally the stomata opens. And during the night time or during the dark time, when there is the absence of light, there occurs loss of K+ ion by the guard cells, decreased solute concentration. As a result, there occurs exoosmosis of water, and hence there occurs a decreased rigidity, and finally the stomata closes. So this was all about the stomatal opening and the closing. Make sure you remember each of the point, because many questions have been framed from this particular area. Important highlighted points to be remembered are: first, the components that gets into and out of the guard cells during both the stomatal opening and the closing. Next, the plant hormone helping in the opening and the closing mechanism. So in the opening mechanism, we have the cytokinin helping in the opening, and during the night time or during the time of stomatal closing, there is abscisic acid helping in the closing of the stomata. So with this, we are done with the complete concept of the stomatal opening and closing in detail. So I hope this video was helpful for you. So if you like this video, please do like, share it with your friends, and please subscribe to my channel. And also I'll be coming up with many more important concepts in the future as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.